Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Financial Survival, sponsored by Discount Gold and Silver Trading. 1-800-375-4188. That's 1-800-375-4188 for all your gold and silver coins. And, folks, we got some great prices, some great coins, and we just do things a lot better than our competitors. So give us a call at 800-375-4188. Visit our website at discountgoldandsilvertrading.net, discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. And, of course, questions for the program today, direct them to discountgoldandsilver@yahoo.com, discountgoldandsilver@yahoo.com. And, of course, you can use that same email address for any of your questions, questions for the program, and, of course, questions regarding your gold and silver investment. So, let's see. They did it to gold. It was trying all day long, and they finally came in, and it just couldn't hold up under the pressure. And right now we're looking at gold down $15.60 at 938. Same thing with silver. It was close to $14. Now it's down 6 at $13.72. Platinum is up $14 at $11.37. And we have palladium at $2.13. So precious metals today. And, with the crazy and stupid close of the markets, we're going to bring Robert Chapman from the International Forecaster to talk about that. And, folks, you can always use our 800 number if you would like a complimentary issue to the International Forecaster. And Robert Chapman of the International Forecaster is joining us right now. Good afternoon, Bob.
Well, good afternoon again. Another example of more of the same. We started out this morning, pre-opening, the Dow was up about 200 points. S&P was up 200. NASDAQ was up 180. So our friends in the United States government got it going early. The reflections weren't there in the foreign markets except for Nikkei and the Hang Seng, I think, were up strongly as well. But I didn't expect this today, but this is typical of what the United States government does through the working groups on financial markets. And it's interesting, I have a question about that from Michael that says, every day between 8 and 8:30, they knock the price of gold down, like clockwork. Well, Michael, they've been doing it for 10 years, and they're not going to stop doing it. But we'll beat them. And there are other times, too, usually just before the commodity close on the COMEX, just like in the stock market, they don't usually take it up that fast, but usually they'll come in on the end in the last half hour trying to do what they want to do, whether it's to bring the Dow back up to even or take it to up plus 500, which they did today. And this program that this Tim Geithner, who was Secretary of the Treasury, who's an idiot, has put together is just a rehash of the Bush program that was a failure 6 months ago. So it ain't going anywhere. And if you're in the stock market, I'm not talking about gold and silver shares, but if you're in the general market, great opportunity to get out. I mean, the market is up the most it's been up in some time. And it's up about, 1,100 points in the space of about 3 weeks. So take advantage of it. Nothing strong on developments over the weekend that I've seen. A comment here from Brian. He wanted me to talk about some of my contacts and some of the stories that I sometime allude to here. But I don't think at this moment we have a chance, but when we do, I will talk about some of the people I've met in my travels through life. Some questions, and this is from Al. When the stock market crashed last fall and winter, precious metal and mining stocks went down with everything else. Last week they went up with everything else. What can we expect those stocks? When can we expect those stocks to disconnect from the general stock market and start performing as a counter trend to the general market? And they are still a counter trend. And just because the market went up doesn't mean gold didn't go up, and it did go up. So if gold went up and the stocks went up, that's natural. Now today, most of the stocks were not down; they were up. I mean, Silver Standard was up something like $1.50. Agnico Eagle was up, I think, 20 or 30 cents. Now, that might not seem like much, but the price of gold is off $20 right now in the aftermarket, which really doesn't mean anything because it's so thin. And that's why our government, the United States government, attacks gold and silver in the access market because a very, very small trade can change the price by $5. So that's what they're up to. And, you know, pros know that. Anyway, there's no linkage anymore. The only thing I could see is if there was let's say a 1,500, 2,000 point drop in the Dow, there might be some people who had to sell other stocks that they were making money on to meet margin calls for stocks that they had that were falling. But other than that, the gold shares and gold, silver, they're trading on their own. And next question is, if inflation erodes the buying power of money, doesn't deflation increase the buying power? No, it doesn't. And both of them erode the power of money. And the idea is to increase money and credit about 3.5% a year so that inflation rates stay under 2%. But politicians can't do that because they can't get elected or reelected for the most part by doing that. We had a gold standard until 1971. Why didn't that prevent the Great Depression of the 1930s? And the reason why we had that depression, because it was engineered by the same group of people at the Federal Reserve. Depressions don't happen, they're created. Wars don't happen, they're created. And, you know, there's a long story to go into all of that. But that's really just the way it is. So it has nothing to do with the gold standard or not having a gold standard. And everything to do with having criminals run your government. And this is good. I want to know that I wanted you to know that there's a new social phenomenon that I call Chapman windows. These are ladies whose husbands spend 5 or more hours a week listening to and reading Bob Chapman. So far, it's not a crisis. Okay, last month, a British and French submarine collided. Now the USS Hartford, nuclear submarine, and a U.S. dock ship collide in the Strait of Hormuz. The satanic forces and their wicked human conduits wish a nuclear explosion in the Middle East. Well, that could be. And he goes on to talk about disorienting technology being utilized to confuse the ship captains. And I don't know much about that, if they're working and using that. But he goes on to talk about other conflict areas. I'm just not in the spot to be able to talk about that subject because I don't know much about it at the moment. explain. Warren Buffett has been carted out a number of times, and the overall feeling I get is that I, the public, am supposed to think that if Warren Buffett is getting crushed in his market, then how could I possibly be spared? Do you think Buffett will be used to appease the public when pensions and retirement accounts get sucked up in the next round? And the answer, of course, is yes. Warren's father was a politician and very connected, member of the Illuminati. And, Warren Buffett doesn't make